The folks from the Nabisco 600 reached out to Rhode Island Jobs and Justice maybe 4 or 5 months ago to talk about ways that we can show solidarity with the workers in Chicago, but also kind of tell the story of how outsourcing in traditional businesses that have been here forever is like not only a process that started 30 years ago, but it's something that's being perfected, and the workers, particularly the 600 workers that we're going to hear more about, this is like the tip of the spear. This is like the closing gaps of defending American manufacturing jobs. It's also really important to point out that it's not just about defending American work for the sake of defending American workers. It's also defending our jobs because they're better for workers in general. Like the good family-supporting wage jobs that we have here that are union, that have pensions, inside factories that have to follow rules for the EPA, have to follow rules and standards for USDA, need better food and better conditions for all of us. When a factory gets shipped overseas, there are no standards for that. Like when we saw the factories close in Providence and Worcester and Woonsocket, we saw those places go to places like Haiti, Vietnam. First it was South Carolina, and then it was Mexico, and then it was Haiti. They did it in order to get around the rules that we had put into place, right? So child labor laws, you saw in Vietnam, they didn't care about that. They had children making Nike sneakers. Environmental protections, they didn't care about any of that. They would have their people living in poison. Just look at the border in Texas. As soon as you go across the line into Mexico, it's poison. That's what these workers are fighting against. And that's why this is like such an important thing. Is that we're actually, by defending these jobs and working to save these really vital jobs, these really important generationally saved jobs, we're also protecting the working people of other countries. We're protecting the workers that are going to be working in the factories in Mexico and in Haiti and in Vietnam by saying, we're not going to let you go. Like if you want to start your economy and get it working, you're going to have to match our standards, which are protective, better, healthy, and think about the future, right? We're not the bottom line, and we're not going to be the bottom line. And that's why it's so important that we do these things. So the other part is that Jobs with Justice has been working on centering corporate greed from our foundation 30 years ago. That when we see examples of corporations just making a decision about how they're going to use and extract profit, we make a decision to push back every time we see it. So we tend not to think of it in terms of individual workers all the time and how the effect that it has on the family, but it does, right? So in Providence, for example, some of the tax agreements are something that erodes the tax base inside the city, making it harder for public sector workers to survive. Those public sector workers have to fight for weaker and weaker contracts, delivering poorer and poorer service to citizens, makes it harder for citizens to support those unions. We need to close that gap. We need to see the fight in Chicago. It's going to be the fight that we're going to have here and the next organizing drive. It's the fight that they had in Quonset. It's going to be the fight that the owner folks are having to protect their houses and their jobs down in Olneyville. It's the struggle to organize in South Providence. It's the CNAs. It's 1199. It's the folks that are fighting for 15. It's all that. It all comes together, looking out for each other. With Jobs with Justice, solidarity is the central principle of everything. That's going to be the thing that guides our mission. When we have an opportunity to share people's stories, we have an opportunity to act in solidarity. This one actually is a pretty easy ask, right? We're asking that we take an active role in their life. And that active role could be asking questions about how things are purchased. If we're in a school committee meeting, or if we have kids at school and there's a vending machine, we could ask how they're stocking it. That's one thing we can do like right away. Can you go to these people outside right now and ask them? We can go to our restaurants and supermarkets that we go to and ask the same questions. They're going to talk a lot more about that and explain different steps that we can take. We can share with our friends, and we can make sure that when we come together around our snacks, that we're doing it in a way that's just for the workers, just for the future, and one that includes all of us. So without any more, I'd like to introduce Nate to come talk a little bit about this. And then, all right, thank you guys.